toy collectors, welcome to another super exciting, outrageous toy review. We're continuing our look at the Kenner Silverhawks figures. Today, we're taking a look at the Copper Kid. The Copper Kid was an interesting choice for Silverhawks. Most cartoon shows have a child character or a childlike character, whether that be Orko or Snarf or Robin, that is the child's viewpoint into the world they're watching. But the Copper Kid is so unlike a kid. He's a math genius. He's from the planet of the Mimes, a fact they seem to point out every chance they get. He doesn't really speak normally. It's a very unusual character to have be that child window into the world of Silverhawks. The rest of the Silverhawks were from Earth. They needed their partly metal, partly real upgrade to allow them to withstand space travel. Where is the planet of the Mimes exactly? Did Copper Kid need the exact same enhancements to be able to withstand time and space? Mysteries we may never know. I sometimes wonder if the people that made the show know what Mimes actually are, because Copper Kid is not silent. He doesn't speak normally, but he talks like R2-D2. He has beeps and whistles and modulated speaking. Like most of the characters in the Silverhawks line, the Copper Kid has his wing action. And I have to say, I think this particular sample is really nice. The kid has excellent vac metal and excellent paint. When it comes to articulation, the Copper Kid is pretty much the same as the rest of the Hawks. He has an articulation point at his head that allows him to turn his head side to side most of the way, but not all the way around. His arms are integrated into his action feature, and really, when they're in the down position, they can be moved forward individually or backwards. But when you pop the wings out, they no longer articulate for the most part. The action feature really kind of interferes with that. He has standard Kenner hip joints there. They actually ratchet a little bit, which is interesting and kind of nice. And they do have a nice sculpted detail on the side of his leg here. In the show, he could take these hubs off and throw them as razor-sharp discs, which I always thought was neat, and kind of disappointing he didn't come with one of those. Like the rest of the team, Copper Kid has a Silverhawks logo tampoed on his pec. The Copper Kid has mostly white skin with like a bluish hue to it. He's got large eyebrows. His face is shaped a little bit almost chimpanzee-like. With that smile, he's got a large upper lip there, and sort of a squished nose, and he has little elf ears. There is a scientist character in the first episode who has some resemblances to the Copper Kid, but doesn't seem to be from the planet of the Mimes, so I don't know if there's any connection or just happen to be similar looking alien races. Like most of the Hawks, Copper Kid comes with removable wings. They have little clips for his wrists and a peg for his back. The coloring does rub off on the wings, so you do want to be careful handling those. The inside side is really nice on this set, but a little bit rough on the outside. The standard accessory in this line is a weapon/pet bird. The Copper Kid comes with an orange bird named Mayday, and there is a whistle built into him. When Mayday's clipped on Copper Kid's shoulder, he does kind of pull him off balance a bit. I actually have to have Mayday leaning pretty far forward to counterbalance. Bluegrass was training the Copper Kid to be his backup pilot on the Mirage, which occasionally in the show we would see the Copper Kid be in charge. Not only was the variety of chrome colors very interesting in the line, it was also really cool that they had a variety of body types and scale, with Copper Kid being the smallest, Steelheart being a middle-scaled character, and then most of the men being a little bit taller and bigger. Later in the line, when many characters were getting reissued in their ultrasonic suits, which meant they had less vac metal and hard plastic wings, the Copper Kid was being reissued, but his title was Copper Kid with Laser Discs, and he came with a disc accessory like he had in the show, as well as a flip-down visor. They also planned to release a vehicle for him called the Copper Racer, which was basically a little drag racer, that I guess could travel through space. Both the Copper Kid with laser discs and Copper Racer were planned but never released. I remember thinking as a kid that the Copper Kid toy was really cool and kind of wanting it, but I never had very many Silverhawks back in the 80s. He really is a nicely done figure. I like that paint fade on his forehead that kind of gives him the cel shading look of the cartoon show. The bright copper vac metal on him looks fantastic. And all around, he's a great figure. In some ways, his bird might be one of the lamer ones in the toy line, but it at least has a function that makes sense, and it's not just a scissoring wing that most of them tended to use. Thanks for watching this super exciting, outrageous toy review. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any Silverhawk memories.